Hello and welcome to Liberty Nation's LNTV. I'm your host Mark Angelides, and today I'm really going to take you down the rabbit hole of power, smoke and mirrors. With Britain seemingly shackled to the European Union until October 31st, all eyes have turned to the European Union elections, in which all of the odds, polls and cash money bettors seem to be saying that Nigel Farage's new party, the Brexit Party, is going to sweep it all away. If we lived in normal times, political opponents of Mr Farage would be heading back to the drawing board and coming up with politics that might actually appeal to the electorate. But these are not normal times, and they haven't been for some time. Both the British Conservative Party and the Labour Party, the two parties that have switched power back and forth for the last 100 years, campaigned in the last general election to take Britain out of the EU. In fact, it was that promise that allowed Prime Minister Theresa May to actually form a government. But it seems that these two legacy parties are quite willing to throw hundreds of years of principle under the bus, all to stop Nigel Farage from coming to power. The historian David Starkey described Mr Farage as the most important politician since Henry VIII, and he may be right. No single person has done more to upset the orthodoxy of the apple cart than him, and the Conservatives and Labour Party seem hell-bent on rebalancing the status quo. The man dealing with Brexit from the European Union side is one Mr Guy Verhofstadt. He's an MEP, a former Prime Minister of Belgium, and the point man for the European Parliament on all matters Brexit. Here was his suggestion to Britain's two leading parties.
So really, I never thought I should say that in my life here in this Parliament, but maybe the only thing that can save us is Nigel Farage now. Why? As you will hear today, he's already campaigning. He's already rallying with a new party, the Brexit Party, catching up with the Conservatives in the polls, and the old parties, Labour and the Conservatives, risk to be wiped out during the European election. So, my advice to you, Mr Corbett, is that if they are not stupid, both parties, they make a cross-party deal now, immediately, in the coming days, to avoid this imminent disaster.
Yes, this staunch defender of democracy is calling for the two major opposing parties in Britain to come together to keep Nigel Farage from power. Yet he fails to answer the most important follow-up question. Who then could the people of Britain vote for? If the two parties merge on the most important issue of the last 50 years, who can the people of Britain, the majority no less, those who voted for Brexit, actually back in an election? You see, for the gilded elites, it's all about power, winning it, keeping it, and wielding it for their own purpose. And this is as true for Britain's two main parties as it is for the European Union. If you think that the Union, so beloved by the political elite in Westminster, are not on the same model, think again.
And that is the real problem, colleagues. Why there is such a problem in this crisis? Because member states are reluctant to transfer new sovereignty and powers to the European Union. And we all know that the only way out of this crisis is a new transfer of powers to the European Union and to the European institutions.
Make no mistake, the EU, hand in hand with the Westminster swamp, are desperately determined to continue their project of a federal Europe, in which member countries are no longer sovereign nations, but vassal states. They have never before had such opposition, and they have never before been so afraid. This fear that they have of Nigel Farage leading his party first to victory in the EU elections, and then to destroying the cosy cartel in the House of Commons, has forced the mask to slip. They are all the uniparty, the party of power for their own institutions, and they won't stop until the vote, the individual voter, has no choice left. I'm Mark Angelides for LibertyNation.com. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out our podcasts, television, articles. It's all there on LibertyNation.com. Take care.